on that one, will you?
Hey, how's it going, Bill?
You probably have done that before, haven't you?
This is a first.
Yeah.
That's just what you do.
I think so.
Yeah.
This way he hears it all firsthand. Do you want me to hold it up so Pat can wave to you, Andrew?
Sure.
Here it comes.
He's signed away.
Don't write any of this in the paper.
I don't do the writing.
Don't tell him. Don't go down in the heat. You want water?
No, I'll get mine.
All right.
Oh, I'm all set. Big families. You coming home tonight, Andrew?
Tomorrow night.
Or you gonna?
Tomorrow's great. So, yeah.
Yeah. Good. How long did it take you to drive back?
I think it's like 13 and a half hours.
Oops. It's all right.
Yeah.
So make,
Well,
he'll
good
make
to
it
see.
in the letter.
Drive careful coming back.
Will do. Yeah, I might have to stop. I don't know if I'll be able to make it.
Yeah.
He's selling poppies at 8 a.m. on Saturday morning
You are?
downtown.
You're selling poppies? Oy vey. And the flags are in the vault for you.
Oh, good. Yeah, because we work till noon tomorrow, so I won't be able to leave till like 1, so.
Yeah.
Well, you have two girls waiting for you.
Yeah.
Especially the older of the two. She's quite ready.
Okay, that's close enough, yeah.
All right.
Okay, we'll call the Central Lake Township Board meeting to order, Wednesday, May 21st, 2014. Start with the pledge of allegiance to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Gadwau,
Present.
Kosloski here, Muellens,
Present.
Smith,
President.
Dean.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Okay, any additions to the agenda? Heidi and Mark Wire are here. They'd also like to discuss Muckle Road while we're discussing our road commission questions on Buffer Hill and the rest of our jobs that we want to get done. Need approval of agenda. I'd like to move the agenda, if we would, 12B to right under public comment between 7 and 8. That's okay with the board?
Sure. I'll make a motion to accept the agenda as presented for May 21st, 2014.
Support.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Agenda is approved. Approval of minutes of April 16th, 2014, regular board meeting.
I have read it. I will make a motion to approve it.
I'll support.
If there's no changes, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The minutes are approved. Approval of minutes of May 12th, 2014, special board meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the special board meeting of May 12th.
I will support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes approved. Public comment. Walt?
Would you give us a brief synopsis of the meeting on May 12th, special board meeting on May 12th?
Okay, that was just hiring a seasonal employee. One item on it. We hired Donnie Clark for seasonal work.
Thank you.
It lasted 3 minutes.
Okay, public comment. Okay, if not, we'll move on to discussion of the roads that we want to get done this year. We have our engineer manager with us, Bert Thompson from the Road Commission, and we will start out, I guess I'll start it out anyway. What we are looking at was going and replace or repair, which we have an estimate here for Bunker Hill Road, and then we'd like to discuss maybe possibly looking at widening State Street between the village and Forsyth Drive. Also, Heidi's here for the lower, I guess the southern end, I would say, of Muckle Road, where there's a washout into, what's the name of the creek? Is there a name to it?
Let's call it Fisk.
What? This creek.
FISK?
Okay, do we want to start with that first? You want to, that's it, Heidi? What you want to do? Mark said.
Well, I'll start it.
Okay.
We've all talked to Echo Township, and they don't have the funds to participate in paving Muckle Road. Well, thinking about that, I realized the portion that's the worst of the road is the hill leading down from my house to the end of the paved portion. Abuts county land, not township land. So I wanted to readdress that to see if there's anything we could do while they're paving Old State Road to take care of that end. And Heidi will give you the soil erosion argument.
Well, it definitely washes bad. There's an awful lot of water that comes down. There's a 2-track that continues on through Mark's Farm. A lot of water comes down through there and washes around that corner and then off the road into, down into the creek. And I see that there's a possibility whereby we could up further on that seasonal road or 2-track that extends through Mark's Farm. We could maybe put in a diversion to try to force some of that water. I think it would be further south. And to get the bulk of the water off of that road so we don't continue to get the nasty washouts. Paving it would absolutely take care of the issue. We'd have to devise some water offshoots, you know, I'd still like to see the diversion go in, but the amount of erosion and the amount of earth that's getting down to that stream is, it's an awful lot of erosion, a lot of sediment is occurring there, so.
I've lost over 3 feet of topsoil in the last 25 years. It's ended up in the creek.
In the creek, and then there was around the corner, is it just before your dad's property? There was a pond there, and that's been filled in, and it was, you know, it was a wetland area, and that's all being filled in.
The last time there was any work there, you were able to come up with funds,
Yeah, we were.
so can you do that again?
I was just, I knew that was coming, yeah, I was just winding it.
Bert, I didn't know they were gonna be there, I would've told you, if you're here, I mean, you're the man that.
Have you been back there, Bert?
Not in a while, no.
I think it's less than 1/10 of a mile from the end of the existing asphalt to the top of the hill.
Probably, it's not very far.
I was wondering, Bert and I were talking as we were both driving here, and I was wondering, you know, we've got 3 people in the office, and the phone's ringing off the hook, and we're so darn busy, we don't even have time to look at grants. And it makes me ornery, because there's a lot of things that need to be done in Antrim County. We get we're so blessed with this area, with the water, with the resources that we have and everything. And there's so many different things that we could do if we could have the time to write grants. I don't know of any grant monies that are available. I can try to look, but, you know, and it stinks. There's no staff time available to do this. So, I don't know about grant monies. I can't say that we could find them, you know. We have to have the time to be able to write the grants. I know we have worked really closely with the road commission on other projects, but that's when we had, you know, a staff of 5 or 6. We had time to write the grants. I think that's what the Conservation District could do for our community. We just have to have time to be able to do it.
How did you address Echo on this, doing something there? No, Mark.
In what way?
Well, would that be half Echo's cost?
No, that's county land on the other side of the street, in that portion.
I mean, it's still Echo Township, but it's county land.
Bert? You got any?
I can't add to this. I don't.
Like I told you, this is not me too, so I didn't look at it or even go out there, or,
Well,
so I mean, I can't respond to it really.
I put it off because it didn't, as far as doing an estimate, because it didn't look like there was any possibility of funding it, so I had a lot of other things to worry about. I mean, if it looks like there's some money to do the job, we certainly could take a close look at it.
Well, I mean, the feeling of this board was that, you know, we were willing to do something out there, but we feel that the other townships should match what we're willing to do.
What's a wag on what it would cost to pave that? You can't even guess. You'd hate to guess. Yes, I understand.
No, because I get held to a number, and
I
I've done that, I've made
understand.
that mistake
Okay,
before.
all right.
Now, like I told you,
I don't see that as Echo Township's responsibility.
well, I mean, I don't see it as ours either. I mean, I guess.
No, but at least half of it is Echo's.
Well, half of it, yeah, we're willing to go half of it.
But they should be willing to pay the other half. You get tired of being the banker for everybody. I don't think it's our responsibility.
It's not, it's in Echo Township, but it's not Echo Township land, and it's not privately owned, it's owned by the county.
I still don't think that it's our responsibility.
Well, can you go to the county and ask them for funds? If they border the property?
I have, my guess is I know what they'd say, but, I have a public works meeting the first Wednesday of the month, and I can talk to them about that, and see if there's anywhere we could go with it, but I don't see, I'd be really surprised if they would go for that. You know, it'd be really cool if the county could kick in, the county and Echo Township, because I think it's their responsibility too, myself. But, you know, if the county and Echo Township could split the cost, you know, for half, you guys cover half, and then, you know, they could cover half.
Well, I have that thing on the silent mode.
I mean, I can do that. I can ask. I'm not exactly sure that's the right committee to go to, but, I mean, it's where I can start. It's who I answer to. But, you know, this year, and, you know, Bert and I have talked about, we've got a lot of dirt and gravel roads that have been severely impacted by the weather and, well, by the weather. And it would really be nice if we could figure out ways to address those issues, because the roads are, you know, they impact the streams and stuff and the wetlands and all of that, so.
I'm sure we'd be willing to put our share in, so why don't you see what you can do and let us maybe move on to Bunker Hill and give us some time and, you know, let us know ahead of time and more than willing to put it on the agenda and address it. But anyway, we have an estimate from the Road Commission on Bunker Hill, and pretty well spells out what is going to be done there if we go along with it. And then there's been a lot of questions about county or road commission participation, and I'm not prepared to answer those, so I asked Bert if he would attend this meeting, and I think some of it, the big question is, if the road commission is willing to participate on township roads, why are they not willing to participate on a county road if we are putting in the largest share of the money? So I'll open it up to the board.
That's the biggest question I have is, why are we funding this road project 100%?
Well, historically, there's two different classifications of county roads, county local and county primary. Historically, the road commission has been able to, in years past, keep up with the primary road needs. And then improvements that the townships wanted to make to the local road system were at their request, and we had cost share policy, which was better on the road commission's end as far as what we were contributing years ago. But with the dwindling of our resources and our funding, obviously we had to back down on our cost share on the local roads, and with that, the board decided that if it wasn't a primary road project that we were gonna do or on our priority list, that if it was requested by another party, that they would fund 100% of that. The thought was always that we would have the funds to keep up with that, but in the last 10 years, we haven't invested very much in our primary system, other than what federal aid we get, and that's limited, so. That's kind of where that came about. Now, maybe it should be readdressed, if we continue to see dwindling funding on our end, and the townships more and more step up and want to do these primary road systems. And it's never been a project where the road commission has come to the township and said, we're doing this road, you will contribute this much. It's always been the townships that say, we want to improve this road, and then we go from it, go after that angle. So that's kind of how we got to the policies where we are now, and it might be time to readdress those.
Good. I have one more question.
Yeah.
Banks Township last month, you made a proposal to them to redo some roads?
Which township?
Banks,
Oh,
bit of cost sharing,
locals.
I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah, local roads.
So you'll share a part with Banks Township, but you won't share a part with Central Lake Township?
Not on the primary system with any township, we will on the local roads with every township. So all the local road projects that we've done has been a cost share, and you have provided copies of our policies in the past, and we've talked about that before, so. Yeah, we've always applied the same policies for all townships. But if it, like I said, if it's a local road project, right now we do 10% cost share on those, unless it's brand new hot mix on a gravel road, we won't pay any of the hot mix, never have, but primary roads are still 100%.
I mean, we've had requests for Bunker Hill, and I mean, there's no doubt about it, it needs to be worked, and we have, the people that live there paid millage the same as everyone else, but I guess what the board was kind of looking for is, you know, the feeling was that the road commission at least should come up with the 10% match. But
I can't, that's above my authority to do that, since it's a board policy. You can address it to the commissioners, the road commissioners, and definitely reassess that policy. And maybe, I don't know if they would look at changing it or not at this point, but.
Would it pay for us to come here next?
It might be worth it's worth asking the question, I guess.
I'll do that.
Okay.
And also a time frame to get it in this year. I mean, due to you being able to get state funds, I mean, we have money, and I think that, you know, the voters give us that money, and they expect us to do roads with it, not leave it set in the bank. Again, due to your help, I mean, we have almost $300,000, and just to leave it set there, I think that's ridiculous. So if we decided to go with this road and the two projects we were looking at in Bunker Hill, and then also the board has talked about that we'd like to widen State Street, like you were able to get us a grant on Torch Lake Drive and make that safer for bikers, and also those few areas that shoulder is breaking down too.
Well, the grant that we were fortunate in obtaining for East Torch Lake Drive was a safety grant. I really didn't think that we would get that grant. I thought it was a long shot. I was surprised that we got it. That's based on the types and frequency of car crashes. That was how that grant was acquired. So, and I had looked at Old State west of town, and the patterns and frequency of crashes are not there like they were in East Torch Lake Drive. So
we couldn't look at that grant.
there's nothing there to support the requirements of the grant.
I mean, due to your work, you saved us $210,000 out there. I mean, and I know when Forest Home did it, they paid the entire cost themselves.
Right. We were able to incorporate some tree work and stuff with that grant, so we did some work through Forest Home on it, Helena too. But, yeah, I thought that one was a long shot. I know Old State doesn't have a chance because of it needs the supporting evidence of the field crashes, so.
I mean, myself personally, I'd like to see both of these, you know, projects done. And our millage runs out this year, so I mean, it wouldn't take the entire amount on Bunker Hill, but we would need, what is a mile, would you guess? And I know that you don't want to start throwing prices out, because you get in trouble when you do that.
Yeah.
But what is it, roughly 2.5 mile in there?
I'm not sure the length.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a couple miles.
Yeah, it's better than 2 miles. You haven't had any costs out on that.
I drove through there the other week. That's about all the time I had for it.
Yeah, I know,
Or we could take the numbers divided by what he's got here for square footage, if you're talking about just doing the same thing.
This is just doing the shoulder stand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You know, like we
just
did on
maybe the
Torch Lake.
shoulders.
Just widen it out 3 foot. Now, Bert, I have another question. Are we farther ahead to maybe like Bunker Hill? Save that money for another year and go in and repulverize it, lay a new bed down, and re-blacktop it because of all the alligator I call it alligator.
Right.
Because I can go right back here on Moyer Road and look where we repaved it 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's already all spider rubbed down. Are we farther ahead, would the road last longer by doing that than what it's gonna do to put an overlay on it now?
Not necessarily. Unless there's some evidence of some major base problems in there or bad soils underneath, which I don't see any major evidence. What it all looks like is just old pavement. It's aged, and that's why it's cracking and alligator cracking,
Yeah.
which is a term we use. So I don't see any major base problems. The added cost of pulverizing and because it's not just pulverizing, you're reshaping.
Right,
regrading,
regrading, right.
you're rolling, you're getting density. It involves a lot more equipment, a lot more time, so that cost goes up considerably when you go to that extent. Now, what the project that I proposed here is to wedge the outer half of the lane, or from quarter crown out, beef that edge back up, build it back up, give it some strength, and then go over the top of it with, I think it was 2 inches of hot mix over the top of all of that. So the centers are usually in pretty good shape. If there's any bad spot, we can do it quick.
So you're gonna go from 0 on the center line to 2 on the edge, roughly?
Probably won't even do anything at center line, just half the lane out. Usually they round off and drop off quarter crown out, so.
Right.
Yeah, so
That's what
we'll true that back up, get a little bit more proper profile, and then overlay the whole thing a couple inches. So at the edges, you could have
So you're
3
over,
to 4 inches.
you're overlaying 2 inches on all the existing blacktop road,
Yeah.
center line both ways.
When we go back and do the final overlay. So at the edges, you could have 3 to 4 inches of new hot mix out there, and then of course we'll match that up with your shoulder gravel.
That answers a lot of questions.
Yeah, and then you don't run into problems with getting into that base, and you might have a thin gravel spot in the center, and then you're trying to reshape it. We've run into problems in the past where you start getting some weak spots in your base, so. As long as we don't real evidence of that, of there being a problem underneath that pavement now, it's just old pavement, we can do a good job with the cap on it, get many years of life.
And where the big holes are at, you're gonna cut them out, refill them,
Yeah, we're gonna-
stabilize it, pound them.
There's that big one on Hill that we keep peeling out of there in the winter. We'll patch, as soon as we can get in there, actually, we're gonna patch it anyway and take care of some of those bad spots. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Walter?
Stan, I don't know who, I'll address the question to you, because I don't know if I can address one directly to Bert. But, is any engineering gonna be required on doing this job on Bunker Hill Road? And if there is engineering required, are we paying that, or is the county road commission paying for the engineering part?
You answer it, you're the engineer on it.
What is included in the project is our time, obviously, we hire a contractor to do paving, so we pay that to the contractor for the paving itself. We'll go in there with our equipment, manpower, to do the shoulder gravel. There is a consultant we hire to do testing on the hot mix at the plant while they're producing. We try to at least test once each time we're producing, so you're assured that we're getting the mix that we want out there, and then we usually roll that into the next price. So, and then the rest of, usually my time is not charged up to the project, it's just under our operating costs.
But the cruise time is for laying gravel.
Yes, oh yeah.
That's charged back to the township in that $193,000.
Yes, it's part of that estimate. and it's
So that
charged to the project.
$193,000 is the road commission plus all the asphalt.
Yep, it's everything to complete that project, paving and shoulder gravel restoration.
And yet we pay county taxes and we get dipped again.
You can pay all the county taxes you want, they don't go to. the
Well,
road commission.
we pay a road tax as it is now,
Right,
through the county.
we get $3.3 million annually.
And now the
Through
county's,
fuel taxes and vehicle registration fees, and that's hardly enough for us to keep up with routine maintenance.
I know the feeling, I'm going through the same thing,
Yeah.
my taxes are cut. But
So-
you're in turn gonna charge the township for laying all that gravel, for that manpower, for them hours, which, trust me, I know them hours have to be charged out somewhere. That's why I have a problem with paving this road. It doesn't seem to fit to me. Something's not right there.
We don't pay, but it's gonna be gravel for
It's-
long.
I know what the road's in, I know what kind of shape, like I said, it's all alligator, everything about it.
And that project's no different than any other project we've done in the past, other than the cost share policy it may fall under, because most of the projects we've done are local roads, so.
See, the county's already set their budget, am I correct?
Well, we're just set annually.
For wages, salaries, all that. It's all been put out in whatever account you put it out in. Now in turn, you're gonna go ahead and put your guys up there, lay all that gravel on that road and charge the township is somewhere in that $193,000. If I'm right, we're gonna be, part of that money is gonna be going back to the Antrim County Road Commission.
Yes, to pay for the cost of our equipment to operate out there, the cost of the manpower to operate. Everything we do gets charged to an account, whatever it may be. It may be winter maintenance, it
That's
could be
right.
a specific project, it could be state highways.
That's where I have a problem.
Well,
So, and I'm only one person out there.
it's no different than any other agency does it. You get charged for what you're working on.
And again, I mean, it's not gonna be done, if we don't do it. And then it just deteriorates, and eventually there's gonna be more costs involved.
That's why we need to get our taxpayers to go to the county board, to sit down and make these budgets out. We need to get more people need to be involved in local government. That's what it boils down to.
These rates and, I mean, the money that road commission gets is set by the governor, isn't it? I mean, who sets
No,
that?
it's-
A federal thing?
No, it's the cost of operating. It's our equipment rental rates are,
No, I mean, the
This-
money that is allocated to a county for roads.
that's through state law. And
Right,
that's the
right.
distribution formula to
Yes.
all road agencies, including villages.
Have to deal with that. That's where we
That's-
need to talk to somebody.
But that's the distribution of your vehicle registration fees and your fuel taxes. And that's what funds roads.
Yep.
Not property taxes,
Right.
not.
And there's a misconception, you know, I mean, we all are paying taxes unless we have a specific, you know, millage that for roads, you know, it starts in Lansing. That's where we need to talk to somebody. I mean, Michigan's roads are traveled by so many people, you know, tourists and stuff. Somehow there has to be a more equitable way to fund our roads.
Our revenues are equal with roughly what they were in 2003. 10-year-old revenues. Our costs certainly have not remained the same as they were in 2003.
Walter, you have another question?
Well, just a point to make, tonight on television prior, 7 o'clock or at 6:30, I forget the time. Michigan has the 9th most road system mileage in the United States, and it has the last amount of money spent on roads in the United States. 9th most roads, 50th in paying for roads.
I agree with that.
Okay, one other question. If, it looks like there's gonna be some additional funding coming, and if we go ahead and do this, and additional funding comes to you, and you change the policy, will you change the policy on that road?
I can't answer that. That's my board's decision. Are you saying to back pay
Right.
that? I can't give you an answer to that. That would have to be the road commissions to decide how they're
Of
going
course,
to
if you
handle
do it to us, then I imagine Forest Home will be there.
it. How far
Will be
back
there
do we go?
also.
Yeah,
So, I mean, I can't answer the question myself.
What about the money that we already paid for State Street, the contract that we went into in November of 2013?
no money has changed hands. And I just gave Stan a letter dissolving that contract. Because we did come up with the money to satisfy that federally match.
I mean, right there, we have $156,000 to work with. I mean, the road commission already had a contract with us, and I'm sure if they told us that we had to pay that and it went to court, we'd end up paying it. Also, I know that Bert's saved us over $200,000 on Forest Lake Drive, because we were looking at that to do it ourselves, the same as what Forest Home did. So, I mean, I have to say that as far as Bert's part, he's been over backwards to save us and help us every way we can. And to get some of this roads done, I think we're almost gonna have to partner with the road commission and instead of laying blame on who did what and whose fault it is.
We're paying all of it. We ain't partnering with anybody.
Yeah, we're paying all of it.
I know.
So what's the suggestion? Do nothing and let the road go to pieces and let the people out there that's been paying taxes, and they pay taxes to do your road in front of you, and we're gonna leave them hanging out there, is that the answer?
You didn't pay anything to do with the road in front of me,
Which road are you on?
State Street.
Well, you're on the state, okay, I was thinking you were up on the, one of the
I
sides.
got property both ways, so.
Okay, well, I'm talking where your property is.
So,
Right, Grace?
I don't know when the last time that you were out on Bunker Hill Road, but you know, just before you get to the top of the road, that top of the hill, as you eastbound from Rushton Road, there's a half of that road missing.
You addressed
That
that.
there's a huge hole there, and it's a pothole, and you have to drive on the wrong side of the road.
right, I was out there last Saturday, I got about 25 pictures of all the bad spots. Just so you know, I did go out.
You have to drive on the wrong side of the road.
I know.
Two cars come over the top of that hill, you're eastbound, cars will come over the top of that hill, they're doing 60 miles an hour.
Chief?
I'd like to add too that, Old State being as bad as it is, I know that personally, I use Bunker Hill instead of Old State. And I know people that live out there, I see them all the time using Bunker Hill and down Rushton instead of going down Old State. So it's putting more pressure on the other roads, because that is bad. And when they had the road construction here, there was a lot of pressure on Bunker Hill Road.
There's gonna be a lot of pressure on Bunker Hill Road when we do Old State Road, starting in June.
Well, so there ought to be some consideration to that detour that's gonna have to be used.
It's not a detour.
It will be when you tear up Old State.
I understand, but it'll be under flag control. But, yeah,
You know what I'm saying, though?
I understand that.
So it's bad now, it's gonna be a lot worse when,
All right, and like I say, we've got the money, so if we don't address it, what do we do? Leave the money in the bank after the taxpayers left us in charge of this? I mean, what do we
I
do?
agree.
Well, there's other roads too, you can
Well,
go.
give me the other roads.
Going up Torchlight Drive, Old State Street, from Village One, it's up Torchlight Drive,
Well, that's-
absolute nightmare.
That's county too. And
Right.
I want to address them both. I hope that, you know, the millage passed and I don't know if it's feasible to do a portion. We're gonna have another 100,000 to do a portion of that piecemeal instead of doing it all at one time.
Shoulders, you mean?
Pardon?
Shoulders on west side? Is that what you're talking about, or?
Need more than shoulders.
Piecemealing what?
I'm dealing with some of Old State,
Over a 2-year
Going
period.
west.
going west from
Yeah.
Torch Drive to the village limits.
It'd make more sense just go all at once.
No, I know. You know, I mean, I'm only one vote on this board, but again, I want to get them both done.
Andrew, do you have any comments?
Yeah, I'm kind of was saying like I'm disappointed that the county isn't paying anything, but at the same time I understand that. And then I see Stan's point, you know, that we have to do something with the money, and Bunker Hill, you know, is in desperate need. So I think that we're not going to be able to change the county's opinion, so we got to do what we need to do as a board. And I think that's probably going to be to pay Bunker Hill.
So, any additional questions to revert? Okay, I mean, well,
You don't have an estimate for money for Old State Road yet, do you?
I asked Bert for one, and he had so much going on that he didn't have time to get it in. He said it'd take another week before he can get at it and put numbers together.
Okay, so just to be correct, the funds for Bunker Hill Road's in $190,000 range, is that what you're talking?
193, I think, I got it.
And how much is still in that account for roads?
Right now, we have $297,769. I'm sure that Metro Act will probably contribute another $3,000, so roughly we got $300,000.
So basically, after you do Bunker Hill Road, there's still $100,000 left.
And there's still $100,000.
But you're guessing to do Old State,
107,
yeah, but you're guessing it's gonna take more than that to do Old State Road.
correct?
I don't know,
Okay.
I haven't really know.
Well, what I'm basing it on is what we come up, what you come up with prices on First Lake Drive. And I don't remember the mileage there. And until you put it together, we don't have a price. But
Be nice if we have $100,000, too bad we can't do $100,000, whatever amount that will do of Old State Road, and then come back next year to do the rest.
that was my question to Bert.
I understand, I'm just pointing out, I think that makes sense.
Right, I mean, like I just said, I'm repeating myself, the taxpayers gave us this money to
Right.
do roads, they want roads done. And,
Might not pass if we don't do some of these roads. In November.
Our should pass if we don't do some of the
Yeah,
roads. I mean,
exactly.
For us to sit here and say we've got money in the bank, I'm going by Andrew's, treasury report from, what was it, March 31st. You pretty much agree with that, Andrew?
Yeah, that's the same. We have, what the county paid out. I'll be depositing when I get back this weekend, so it'll probably go right above 300,000.
Okay, I mean, that's what, I just looked at your last report, I know you didn't have time to give on this time, but, I don't wanna throw figures out there that are not true, but.
Yeah, that's still accurate though.
Well, you know, I mean, we talked about it. Mr. Walnut?
Yeah, if I'm thinking right on this, I'm pretty sure that Torch Lake Drive is one of Antrim County's roads, isn't it?
They all are.
They all are.
And we are worrying about putting our local tax dollars in Torch Lake Drive?
No, an whole state.
Going to Torch Lake.
Whole state, but I heard you using Torch Lake Drive expenditures too.
That was in the
No, that
past.
was 3 years ago.
No, tonight you were talking about it.
Yeah, I know, I'm talking about a job that happened, I don't know, 3, 4 years ago.
That's when we extended the sidewalk.
You know, our papers have been carrying the idea that the county may be applying for local tax dollars also to help pay the county roads.
Hasn't been-
Now, maybe we are pretty easy picking. You don't suppose the state's gonna come and want some help out there on 31 and, what is it, 88 and 131? To put money in them roads too out of our township?
I don't think that the township's gonna be putting any money in any state roads.
Well, now, if this county tax goes through, they're gonna be pulling township tax out of the township for the county roads. The
That's
state,
correct.
and the state might turn around and say, well, there's an opening, the door's open for us too.
Well, we'll deal with it when that happens. I mean, I'm willing to make a motion to go ahead and pay Bunker Hill. I mean, we might as well, if there's no further questions for Bert, is there? I'll make that a motion, and then,
I'll support your motion.
any further discussion? Not, clerk, please call the roll.
Gadwau,
Yes.
Mullens,
No,
Kosloski, yes. Smith,
Yes.
Bean,
Yes. Okay, now, is the rest of the board willing to look at the old state?
can we get a contract on this with signatures before we go writing a check?
Pardon?
Can we get a contract with signatures before we go writing a check?
Yeah, we always do that. All right, here's what the contract look like.
You just mentioned about Old State. We don't have any figures on that.
Well, no, I'm not saying to do that. We're gonna go ahead and get the figures and then we'll address that.
That's what I'd like to see.
But also, I'd like, while Bert's here, if we have questions, to get any questions, that's why I'm moving on to that. Walter?
I have one more question based on what Bud said here. Is the road commissioners thinking about putting a millage on the ballot for roads?
The county commission has talked about that off and on over the last 2 years.
But the road commission has always said no, right?
That's
They won't put
correct.
it on the ballot, right?
Well, the county board of commissioners is the only ones that have the authority to put a millage on the ballot. The road commission doesn't. The road commission did vote yesterday to support it if the county board of commissioners decided to put it on the ballot. So
So if, okay, if it passed, would that be in November or August or November?
Right.
November?
They passed the point where they can do it on August ballot, so
Okay,
in November
November.
if they do that.
Now, just as a question, not saying it's gonna be approved, what does that mean if it does get approved for a countywide X amount of millage a year? Where would that money go? That go to local roads too, or?
Yeah, what, the state statute that allows for countywide road millage says there's a portion that gets distributed to each incorporated village, city or village. So they get a little bit. 1 mil would generate, at current SEV, 1.7 million in the county. 150,000 would go to the villages through the state, through state laws mandated formula. So that leaves about 1.5 million, a little more than 1.5 million that goes to the county road fund. The road commission voted yesterday to say if there was a road millage passed, 50% of it would be allocated to the townships through a formula to distribute it to each township for use on any roads that they choose to use it on. And the
So
other,
the townships could go out to their own bids and do the work themselves?
no, it doesn't say that they have to control that money. The money never leaves the road commission accounts because by law it has to stay in the county road fund. But it would be allocated and set aside if the township said they want to do a project, they would say, take it out of that money. And we could do it like Bunker Hill or any of the others we've done in the past.
So at that point, then the township could also come back and drop their 1 mil.
Could either keep their villages if they wanted to, or drop it back, or
Cut it in half.
or not levy as
Right.
much, or, they would have the options then too.
Well, that might not be all bad.
So with the guarantee of it, and it's policy, the road commission actually passed board policy, it said if this millage passes, then this would be the distribution formula, and half of it's based on taxable value, half of it's based on road miles within the township, local county road miles within the township. So, I don't have those figures in front of me, what it would mean to Central Lake, but it is a significant amount. It's significant, so, it's getting close to probably what you generate with your current knowledge.
So if that was to pass, people like Echo Township then could do Munkle Road, huh?
They would have this, significant amount more funds.
Than the
to help with
30,000
some of
that
their-
they have
right,
now.
Right, because they don't generate very much with the money
Right.
that they have. So it would help many townships that don't generate much now, and some townships that generate quite a bit already, maybe would back down possibly, I don't know, that's a decision each township would have to make, but it's up to the county board of commissioners whether or not it'll go, and I'm not sure there's support for that at the board level. Now, Gene Dawson has been the big pusher behind us for a couple of years now.
I see you didn't even get a second though.
Not at the last meeting, but they did say, I saw more interest from the county commissioners this last meeting than before, but they said they did want some more information and some time to get out and talk to the different townships and other people to see, to judge each commissioner wanted to a little more time.
One said they wanted to put it on November.
I think it's August,
It is.
so they would have a couple more meetings yet to make a decision. So I really, I couldn't even tell you what my guess is, which way it would go on the board level, so. We'll know here in a few weeks.
Thank you.
Sure.
The primary roads are 100% responsibility of the township?
No,
Is that what you said, of the county?
there's two classifications of roads, there's county local and county primary.
Right.
If you look at our county map, if there's anyone around here, all the blue roads are primaries. And
Right.
then,
The primaries are 100% township responsibility.
if a township requests a project on a primary road, our policy right now says they request a primary with 100% of that.
Okay. But if it was your idea to do Bunker Hill, then you would fund it.
That we fund it, right, and we do get
And they would
federal
be
aid.
responsible for it.
Right, exactly. We don't go to the townships and say, we're gonna do this project, you need to
Right, okay.
pay a portion of this. We don't do that. It's only projects requested by the townships that,
Okay, and the last thing you said, the formula for how much money the townships will get if this millage passes is, half is based on local, how many miles are in that township, and the other half is,
taxable value
okay,
within the township.
thank you.
Okay, any further questions while Bert's here?
Andrew, you have anything? Andrew, you have anything for Bert, Andrew?
No, I'm all set, thank you.
Okay.
One more point, since we're talking about the road millage, I said half would be distributed or allocated to the townships. The other half, 780,000, well, part of that would be committed for federal aid match, which is just under 100,000 right now, would be required each year to match our federal aid that we're allocated. So that leaves about 680,000 left that the road commission would then prioritize on the primary road system for repairs. And we haven't spent money on our primary system from our own funds for probably 10 years or more, 12 years, just because of the lack of funding. I just wanted to add that in there.
Ray, Race?
Yeah, as long as he's here, I don't know why something can't be done with that hole on the hill.
We're gonna take care of that. We know about it, we're just waiting to be able to get some hot mix so we can put it in there. The plant's just fired up, the hot mix plant's just fired up here within the last week or two, so.
Okay, last call there, any additional questions?
Thank you, Bert.
Yep, I'll get a
Appreciate
contract
you.
to you soon.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming and answering the questions, and, you're going to look into that and get back and see what we can do on that end? Yeah, you're gonna work together and see if we can get something done for, on that far end. Okay, move on. Approval of invoices, $11,988.36.
I'll make a motion to approve the invoices as submitted.
I will support.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Gadwau,
Yes.
Kosloski, yes. Mullens,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Bean.
Yes.
A little delay there.
Move on to officers. Fire Chief Bill Chapman.
Thank you. We didn't have too big as a month last month, we had 14 calls. 2 were fire calls and 12 rescue runs. And no mutual aids last month. We did two runs into Echo Township. We did training in just a few areas. We did training in emergency medical services. We did training in engineering of the trucks and commercial structures. We did training in a live burn, a control burn. And we did water supply training and incident command. And that was our month.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions?
Also, I could add that we do have 2 new firefighter 1 and 2 qualified trained firemen now. They both passed their state tests. So they're good.
Thank you. Andrew, no know that you didn't have time to get a report out this month, but do you have anything you would like to bring up?
Nothing to bring up. I'll submit both reports next month, so this month won't be missing a report.
Okay. Thank you. Move on to clerk's report, Judy Kosloski.
Well, we had a very horrible turnout for the school election. Out of 1,900 registered voters in the village and township, 100 showed up to vote. But on the upside of that, we used our electronic poll book for the first time, and it's really, really gonna be neat to use. Even the voters that were in the poll were impressed with it. You just swipe your license, and it automatically registers you. We don't have to do the little application to vote. We'll go live with it in November. We're still training. We have paper poll books. But other than that, besides the poor turnout, it was okay.
How many voters?
Over 1,900, 106 voted.
Okay, thank you. Move on to.
Mr. Hanlon has a question.
I was just gonna add that, the reason why there's low voter turnout, because hardly anybody knew about it, it was in November, and there'd be big voter turnout. And, personally, I think the school elections should be in November, when everybody votes.
Well, this is the last time Ellsworth is gonna go alone, but Shoreham will not. Ellsworth from this point on is gonna be on the November. Shoreham, nope, they're standing firm, and it's crazy, because it costs them almost $10,000 for an election.
Can I comment on that though, because I did research on that? It would take too long to explain it, but it actually costs them less money to do it this way. Because I questioned that, and I wrote a whole story on it, and it was, after hearing and seeing it in writing, it really does make more sense. Also, when you have a November election, people are voting for other things, and then they happen to vote for the school thing. If you have an August election, the only people that are gonna show up are the people that are supporting the school.
Well, this was
for
in
the
May.
most part.
This was a May election.
Yeah. I'm sorry, if you have it, if it's by itself, it tends to, it's more likely to pass. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I don't agree with the cost of it.
Yeah. Right, well,
And the
yeah.
time involved.
I-
And that's what we
I-
don't
I-
understand.
I'll email you my paperwork. You can give me your email and I will, and then it'll explain how it worked. Because I felt the same way. It made me angry.
Very angry.
Okay, thank you. You finished it?
Yes, I am, thanks.
Move on to my report, Supervisor Standing. Antrim County Sheriff's Department had 55 events in our township for the month. That was last month. That's all I have to report. We'll move on to committee reports, waste receiving station.
Yes, the only thing I've got to report is we brought Ralph Hines in there to start chipping up the wood, and we had to, the tree branches and that, we had to stop because it was plugging, they were so wet that it was plugging up his chipper. So as soon as it dries out a little more, you'll get in there and we'll finish it up. That's all I have.
Okay, cemetery committee, trustee Mullins.
Spring work is underway down at the cemeteries. New flags have been put on, will all be installed on the veterans' graves, right, Andrew?
They will be, yes.
On Memorial Day.
Yep.
Other than that, the guys are working hard to get everything up and going. That's about it.
Okay, I believe that you were approached by Gary Mortensen, and I think Bill was too, about the ditch that runs between, on the property line there, and also that the road is washing out a little bit on the other side, and if we go ahead and get some prices on this, at the board, making the board aware of it, and if the DEQ inspector has to come out, he wants $200 to come out and look at it and tell us what needed to,
If we can cover it.
yeah, if we
In a
can.
nutshell.
Yeah, and then also, I don't know, can we get it done with our people, or are we gonna have to get somebody in there with a machine?
Personally, I think if the DEQ would give you the permit to culvert it, I think between the equipment the village has and the equipment township has, in about 2 days' work, we could fill that hole in at no cost, other than whatever fuel we eat burning our tractors.
Okay, so other words, all we're gonna have is
Permit and
permit
culvert,
and,
cost of the culvert.
yeah, and whatever.
And I got lots of fill down to the swamp that we can dump in there. We may have a few dollars invested into topsoil to put back over top, but that'll be about it.
Okay, so then, either you wanna put prices together, or I'll work with, get the permit, and then we'll go from there. And then we've got agreeable with the board, just so we're aware of what's happening. Okay, I will do that and get some costs put together. Okay, move on to, is there any other committee reports? If not, move on to old business, carpet replacement for senior activity center. I think that we have some quotes here. Do you want to address this, Judy?
Well, Kiss Carpet came out and gave us a quote that, for that room, it's called luxury vinyl, luxury commercial vinyl. Kiss wanted $12,204.26 for that.
Tile,
Kiss Carpet, that was for laminate, commercial grade carpet. Stone Mountain came out and gave us a price on broadloom carpet with vinyl by the kitchen area for $3,800. Carpet tile through the whole thing, excuse me, $4,700. And their luxury vinyl tile throughout, and that's coming right to the door, because they consider that high traffic, $6,900.
Why would we, I just asked a question, because we replaced all the vinyl back by the sink and by the back door. Why would we want to replace that?
Continuity.
And also, I think there's some stains on it, isn't there?
And Linda wanted her closet done, and then they suggested, because of the high traffic by the bathrooms, to come right outside that door. But they said if you wanted the carpet, they said this is the lowest grade commercial that there is. And if the board wanted carpet, they would put it in, but the warranty would be diminished, because they would not recommend carpet because the tables and chairs and stuff in there.
Even the carpet tiles?
Mhm.
Okay.
What is luxury vinyl?
It's
Go ahead, Bill.
it's a heavy duty, it's a heavy duty commercial vinyl. It's you won't slip on it. You won't slip on it. If you go down to the Classic, when you're down there, look at their, that vinyl there. It looks like a flooring. I'm not famous about the color, but it is high wearing and it's easy on the feet.
The legs of the chair, the legs of the tables won't rip it?
No.
If they do get bumped?
No.
It's about the thickness of a piece of slate.
Right.
And Linda she was in there, so she's gotta look at it every day, so I said, look at what they got. And she told the guy she liked the gray. It was a little bit darker than the walls, but not as dark as the, whatever you call that,
Baseboard.
baseboard.
So one's 69, one's 91,
But the 12 grand just,
and the other one's 12 grand, is that right?
and I pulled out the bills from Carpet Barn, it was 9 grand. Personally, I'd like to call a couple more companies and get a couple more opinions, but that's only me.
Well, we've got time. I mean, it doesn't have to be done tomorrow.
Right.
We should get a couple more. I'd like to get a quote from the people who put it in, the stuff I put into the Classic.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But, I'll find out where she got it.
Andrew, are you all right with that waiting?
Yes, that's good with me.
You've never been so quiet, Andrew.
The delay's killing me.
Me too, because I want you to talk faster.
Okay,
So we'll bring it back in June.
okay. Public policy for inspection of records for state tax commission. We have the Open Meetings Act, which covers everything, but the state tax commission wants us to have a separate, what our hours are, and so that anyone can get in for inspection. And this is, find it here, and we put together, or Judy put together, and this is, one of the attorneys recommended this, so.
It's over
Just a
about freedom of
resolution,
information.
for public inspection.
The only thing I changed, they wanted it 9 to 5. I put 9 to 2,
Well, right, I mean, this is for us, and,
unless they call and make an appointment, that's fine.
right.
And it'll be part of the minutes, as opposed to be read in.
So did,
I'll make a motion based on everybody reading this, to accept the policy and procedure for the public inspection and copying of public records in lieu of customary business hours with regard to tax information.
I'll support. Or do we want to support it? Yeah.
Go.
And I have a copy for you, Andrew.
Okay, thank you.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Gadwau,
Yes.
Kosloski, yes. Mullins,
Yes.
Smith,
Can I abstain since I haven't read it?
sure. And Bean.
Yes. I need a motion to sign this for fireworks for the chamber. The certificate of insurance is included, and this is the same company that we've done it, I don't know, last 3 years, we got 4 years.
Just the same standard typical contract you always sign?
Yes.
I will make a motion to sign that contract.
I'll support it. Permit, not
Permit,
permit.
permit.
Okay, as a contract, clerk, please call it roll.
Gadwau,
Yes.
Kosloski, yes. Mullins,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
and Bean.
Yes. Seasonal employee, hours, uniform. And, when we passed this, the board, the motion was 30 hours, and that is not enough at a time like this.
We thought.
Yeah, but anyway, we'd like to increase this to 40 hours. Also, the summer employee is going to be here long enough that with the board's desire to furnish them with uniforms, which feel we should. And then we discussed whether, if there's enough rain and they can't work, that they would be able to work on Monday and just change their work week. And normally we never run into that. This has been a super rainy season.
What about if in the summer it's gonna be really hot, that they come in at like 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock? Beat the heat?
I personally feel we ought to leave that up to them guys, let them come in when they want, and when, let them set their, they know what work hours they need to be working, Tony does.
And they've been good. I mean, I know Tony's worked extra hours at different times, when it was needed.
I don't wanna be the one to dictate to him what 8-hour shift he works a day, it's up to him. He knows what hours he needs to be there when he goes.
Yep.
That's my feeling on it.
Yeah, besides the waste receiving station, they don't really have a set schedule since, you know, they don't have hours to keep for customers.
Right.
That's
And they would know on Tuesday and Saturday, it doesn't pertain to those 2 days. They have to be there.
right.
Oh, the seasonal employee works Tuesday through Saturday, is that how it works? Oh.
I'll make a motion to change the seasonal employee hours worked from 30 to 40, provide uniforms for him, and change the regular work days to their knowledge of schedule, discretion.
I support that.
Any further discussion? None, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. There is no new business, we'll move on to public comment. Susan?
Central Lake Area Chamber of Commerce appreciates Township working with us with the fireworks. Thank you, all of you,
Thank
very
you.
much.
We
Thank you.
appreciate the chamber putting it on.
Thank you.
Any, no further comment? Motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn at 8:10.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you, Andrew, for joining.